Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this afternoon, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing?
I was okay when before I walked in here, but now it's kind of cloudy in here. It's smoky. I don't know what you've been doing in that fucking studio. I mean,
Nothing,
I don't know, man.
Nothing.
It smells kind of funky. I don't know if it's me, you, or the funk, or what's going on here.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like we're on that Mike Tyson podcast, Hot Boxing.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody sober on that podcast.
Which, by the way, I fucking love that podcast.
Really? I listen to it every now and then. It's pretty good.
I like it.
Mike, hit us up. We'd love to be on your show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't smoke, but...
I wonder if it's required.
To smoke?
Yeah. Probably makes you hotbox before you actually start the interview.
I'll tell you what, if I was going to go on that show, I would require Mike to hotbox. Because I don't want that guy unless he's chill.
Yeah.
You say the wrong thing. You ever see that guy get serious on a podcast all of a sudden? It's like...
No, but I've watched enough boxing highlights of him that, probably shouldn't. Probably should keep him as mellow as possible.
I eat your children.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah. Like when I get really pissed off, I go, fuck you. Mike takes it to a whole new level, talking about eating people's children.
Did you see Canelo's fighting?
Yeah.
Like right after we put out that, our challenge to Canelo a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
There was like a fight. He signed a fight. I think he actually heard our podcast that same day.
And then someone else jumped in.
Well, no, I think he got scared and wanted to, was quick to sign somebody else.
Well, it was probably a little more money to fight Caleb Plant than it was to fight you.
Yeah, but it would have been so much more easier to fight me.
True. Yeah, I wonder, for him, if he's gonna make $3 million to fight you, or $100 million to fight Caleb Plant. Because he can fight guys like you 40 times over and make the same amount of money, maybe more, right? No. And it wouldn't take anything out of him.
Right. Yeah. That would be the smart
So basically, it's a dumb move on Canelo's part.
He was scared.
But he probably wouldn't get $3 million 40 times. He'd get it once, and then people would be like, okay, we've seen that. That's enough. Any other challenges you want to dish out?
Not right now. Maybe maybe a little later. We'll issue a challenge.
We'll get you into like a wrestling match or something.
Yeah, I'm down. I wouldn't mind. You know what? I wouldn't mind. I'm 39, right? I'll be 40 in about 5 months, 6 months, whatever. I wouldn't mind training, like taking some actual boxing lessons, and maybe in 3 years. So when I'm 43, have a little 6-round amateur fight or some shit.
With who?
I don't care.
An amateur.
Yeah. I mean, no, it doesn't have to be like a.
How much do you weigh?
165.
Yeah, you're too light for.
That's fine.
For Jake Paul.
Yeah, I'm too small. I'm too small too. I mean, he's fucking 6'3"?
Is he that tall?
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
He looks like. I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he was taller than Woodley.
Well, that's not saying much. Woodley wasn't big as a welterweight in the UFC.
But I would just as a challenge to myself, I think it would be kind of neat, right?
All right, I'm in. I'm in. I want to see you do that.
Ed just wants to see me fucking get beat up.
No. I'll help you train, and just tell me where the fight is. I'll be one of your corner people. I'll make sure you have a mouthpiece.
I need more of a cut guy than anything else.
I can do cuts.
Okay, all right, good.
Just like that. See,
slap a bunch of Vaseline on top of my eyebrow.
Yeah. I'm in.
I think that would be. I'm in. Kind of cool.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do that.
Well, I need to fucking find a place. I need to figure all that stuff out.
I mean, start looking. I'll do the podcast. You look on your phone for a boxing gym.
I got about 5-6 months right before my 40th.
No sense in waiting, though. I mean,
no. What I'm saying is to find a place and start training.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No sense in waiting, right?
Right.
Because the older you get, the worse you're gonna be. So instead of doing it on your 43rd birthday, if you do it at 42 and a half.
Oh yeah.
Right.
If
it'd
I'm
probably
ready,
be better. So you should probably.
I gotta be ready.
That's what I'm saying. Start looking now.
Yeah, maybe I don't need 3 years to train. Maybe I need 10 years to train. But
Well, no one's gonna want to watch you fight at 50.
Come on, man.
We saw Evander Holyfield, who was one of the greatest boxers ever, fight at 50, and it was not pretty. So we're not looking to do this at 50. So back to your original idea. I agree with you. Let's do it. Notice I say let's do it.
You're gonna get in the ring with me or what?
No, I mean let's do it. I'll help you train, and I'll cheer you on, and and we'll I'll help you find a fight, and stuff like I'll carry the bucket that you spit in.
Yes,
I'll be your cut guy. I'll be your second. So when you walk out to the middle and the referee gives the final instructions, I'll stand there, kind of rubbing your neck like that.
Back, yeah.
It's not your back. It's just your neck like this.
Don't do it too well because I may fall asleep.
And you notice they do this all the time. It's just that's all they do.
That's all it is.
That's all, and it's just the neck because that's the only part that's still tight right there, right before you're supposed to start fighting. So I'll do that, and I'll bump fists with the other trainer, even though I'm gonna want to beat his ass too. Right. But and then you touch him up, and then it's on.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Just like that.
I'm in, yeah. And look, it's no secret that Bruce Buffer is one of my favorite people on the planet. I will even double and do the announcing. I'll do the announcing, and then once I drop the mic, I'll head to the corner, do the little neck thingy. Yeah, and get you ready. So, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, yeah. Just like that.
It's a big commitment on my part. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna do the ring announcing. I'm gonna help you train. I'm gonna carry the bucket. I'm gonna massage your neck. Make sure you have a mouthpiece. I mean,
I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Exactly. You're just doing one thing. I have to do all these other things. So it's a big commitment on my part, and I think that's probably the biggest hurdle that you have to doing this. And now there's no hurdle. You have a ring announcer, bucket carrier, mouthpiece guy, massage the neck, and cut man. Well, you've got most of the bases covered. All you need now is gloves.
Yeah, learn how to box.
I got you for Christmas.
I need to learn how to box.
Oh well, yeah, but I got you. I'll get you gloves.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll keep everybody updated.
Speaking of fighting, it came down to the last day of the season, and we finally have the playoffs set in baseball. I am so excited. I think this is going to be, maybe it's just because I'm a baseball junkie, but I think this is going to be one of the best playoffs in a long time. There's a lot of really good teams. If you look at the American League, especially probably a little more so the American League than the National League, but the American League playoffs I think are going to be just fantastic. You have the Yankees and Red Sox in the wild card game. One of those teams will advance to play the Tampa Bay Rays in the division series. And then on the other side, you've got, no one's talking about it, but that White Sox Astros series, that's going to be a barn burner. I hope it goes 7 games because that's...
Well, it can only go 5.
Oh, the division's only 5?
I think so.
They should change it to best of 7 and go 7. That series is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I agree. That White Sox series. Although I don't know, man. I don't trust the Astros right now. But yeah, that one it's got potential to be a really good series.
It's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be really good. And whenever the playoffs start with Red Sox Yankees, I mean, 2 teams that don't like each other.
Yeah.
2 teams that have really gone at it.
Both
teams,
in a playing game.
Yeah.
It's not even a series.
Yeah, well, it's the playoffs. They're not playing in, they're playing off.
They're playing to get into the playoffs.
No, they're already in the playoffs.
We ain't going through that shit. This is the 163rd game.
We have this argument every year. It's the playoffs. The interesting thing about those two head-to-head, they played 19 times during the year. I think it was 10-9 Red Sox. But remember, the Red Sox really beat the crap out of the Yankees early in the season. Yeah. And then at the end of the season, the Yankees beat the crap out of the Red Sox. So it's going to be interesting to see with a 1-game playoff what happens. It's in Boston, but I don't think home field advantage is a big deal at this point, right, for these teams. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see it happen.
Who's pitching for the Red Sox?
I don't know.
We know Garrett Cole. See, Garrett Cole kind of scares me because he doesn't pitch too well in big games. He kind of shit the bed the other day.
That's not true because he was a hell of a pitcher for the Astros in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
granted,
they were cheating.
No, that was after the cheating, wasn't it? 2018, 2019? Well, and he can't use the sticky stuff.
That's right.
I mean, he's basically shot putting baseballs towards home plate. It's going to be a problem for him, but
Let me see who's pitching for the
I don't know. The Red Sox have
Eovaldi.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Red Sox have bullpen issues, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
They're having a hard time holding down games.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a fucking toss up to me.
So I'll go ahead and make my prediction. I think the Yankees win, and then you got Yankees and Rays.
Oh,
so you're not going to pick in that wild card game?
I don't know who's gonna win, but I'm pulling for Boston.
Well, of course you don't know who's going to win. The game hasn't happened yet.
I'm hoping Boston wins.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Fuck yeah. Because I don't want to see the Yankees in the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had like an actual reason.
And I don't think they're very good. I just don't think they're good. They got a lot of, besides fucking Judge and Stanton, that lineup is just not that scary. Gallo, yeah, he hits a lot of home runs, but he also bats 198. And we've seen him play not that great in the field.
I'm not afraid of that guy.
I'm
not afraid of Gallo. Not having LeMahieu at full strength is a big blow to the Yankees lineup.
Gleyber Torres, these guys don't scare you. And then Gary Sanchez at the catcher position. He's not the best fucking catcher out there. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is fucking plays Olay with the runners. Like.
Yeah, he's defensively not good.
Like, I'm just not impressed, and I've said that the whole season. I'm just not impressed with the Yankees team.
I'm really surprised that the Red Sox are, kind of surprised that the Red Sox are here.
Like in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I'm not. They were in first place for most of the season.
Yeah, no, they were, but their pitching is, it's not good.
Yeah, it doesn't stand out.
It doesn't stand out. And, I think a lot of those guys have overachieved. I don't think...
Like the pitching?
No, on the hitting side, right? Like Devers and who's the other guy?
They got J.D. Martinez.
J.D. Martinez, yeah. But other than that, Xander Bogaerts and J.D. Martinez, and that's about it. Those other guys, they had phenomenal years. More than we expected from them, right? Devers, and who's the other guy? Who's the guy with the red beard?
Oh, the dude that got shit thrown at him? Or a baseball thrown at him at Yankee Stadium. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. The red beard guy. Vasquez?
No. They do have a catcher named Christian Vasquez, but
that's probably not it.
Fuck, what the hell's his name?
This is gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, that guy. Justin Turner.
No, not quite that red.
No, I don't fucking remember his name.
Less red than Turner. But anyway, so you're going for Boston. Then that winner of that game will play against the Rays. Man, the Rays look good all year. They really did not have a letdown at all, right?
Let's not forget they've been doing this pretty much the whole season without their ace, Glasnow. Like he got hurt out for the season.
Right, because the lack of sicky stuff made him blow his elbow out. Because everyone knows that's the only way to keep your elbow in one piece is to use sticky stuff.
I'm not judging.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has looked really good all year.
They've done it all.
Yeah, they really don't have any holes.
If Kevin Cash cannot blow this, like if he does not attempt to blow this, they can make it back to the World Series and possibly win it.
Yeah, it certainly could. And then on the other side, you've got the White Sox and the Astros. Man, that's a tough series to pick because I think these two teams are also pretty complete.
Hold on, if the Yankees or the Red Sox have to play the Rays, who are you picking?
I think the Rays.
Yeah,
just too loaded.
I think so too.
They have no weakness.
No, that's a fucking complete team.
Yeah. And then, so back to the other side, you've got the White Sox and the Astros. And this is, again, these two teams are complete teams. Kind of like what we said about the Rays. The White Sox can hit. They've got good starting pitching. They've got a decent bullpen. I mean, that's what more can you ask for? And then on the flip side, the Astros have a great lineup. Their starting pitching has gotten better as the season's gone on. They've made some moves at the trade deadline to shore up the bullpen, and they look like they have no real weaknesses. To me, that game is a complete coin flip. How about you?
Yeah, it's close, but it's not close, if that makes any sense. I just think the White Sox are too loaded on offense. And I think their pitching overall is a little better. I think I just give them a notch. They're a notch above.
A little bit in every category.
Yeah, and we're going to find out who's going to step up for the Astros. George Springer's not there anymore, and that was their guy in the postseason the past couple of years. So now who's going to step up? Is it going to be Bregman? And obviously Bregman, Correa, too. All those guys can step up. Yordan Alvarez, right? Those guys
had a good season.
Gurriel, they're all capable, but will they when it's time to?
Yeah, look, it really seems to be one of those series where someone's going to have to step up. And aside from just the normal, this is what we do, we hit 300 and all that other stuff, someone's going to come up in clutch situations and really be big. And it's either going to be a bullpen on one side or a hitter on the other side. Yeah. You know what I mean? A bullpen that shuts down Altuve, Correa, Gurriel in a tight situation. Or someone coming through, a Tim Anderson or whomever. It's going to be very interesting to watch, and it's one of those series where I think it's going to be one of those series where even if it ends up being 3-0 one way or the other, I think every game's going to be close, and a team could get swept and still feel like, man, they could have won that series.
Yeah, I don't know. I just view it as the White Sox offense is really, really scary. Those guys can fucking hit, man. Those guys can rake, and they're gonna have to play at least one game at Minute Maid, man. That
two.
Why two?
The Astros have home field.
Oh, they have home field?
Yeah.
Well, from home plate to left field, that's a short porch, man. Those, you got a Ray, Luis Robert.
It's
I don't know, man. It's I think I just don't believe the Astros have the pitching to shut down the White Sox hitting. I think that's what it really comes down to.
I'm looking for team stats, batting stats. So if you look at the Astros hit 267 as a team, OPS of 783. The White Sox as a team hit 256, 758 OPS. So the Astros hitting is actually a little bit better when you take it over an entire season, right? Now, and the White Sox have 190 home runs and the Astros have 221. So it's kind of, the Astros have more hitting, it looks like, which is, that's surprising.
Yeah?
Wouldn't you say? I wouldn't have thought that.
But only 2 games better.
But only 2 games better. Well, that's where the pitching comes in, right? I think the pitching, right, if we look further down at the pitching, you got the White Sox have a team ERA of 3.73, the Astros 3.76. A whip of, where's the whip? The Astros whip is 1.23. The White Sox 1.204. Close, but again, the White Sox a little bit better pitching than the Astros. To me, this series is a complete coin flip. I don't. And I tell you what, I think whoever wins this series will knock off the Rays. I just don't know who's going to win this series. Because I think if the Astros go up against the Rays again, they're not going to lose. And I think if the White Sox make it through a tough series with the Astros, I think that momentum will continue to push them through.
Man, I don't know. I would love to see the Rays and the White Sox go head to head in the American League Championship, though.
That would be a hell of a series, huh?
That would be.
What are you most looking forward to in the National League?
In the National League?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to there being a random team that represents the National League. Like, I don't want to see the Dodgers.
Anyone but the Dodgers?
You can add the Braves to that list. I don't want to see the Braves.
I'll tell you what.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Brewers that's the team I'm kind of looking forward to, because that team is also stacked on offense and pitching. Like, their fucking pitching is really good. They got some guys that are like Cy Young talk. They might not win the Cy Young, but they got a couple guys, and they got a good back end of the bullpen too. And Milwaukee hasn't been there a while.
The only problem with the back end of their bullpen is they lost that one setup guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they were pretty much going, I forget what the guy's name is. That one guy in the 8th and Hader in the 9th. Occasionally they would flip it, but I mean they were locking down the 8th and 9th inning, and obviously they lost that guy in the celebration.
Oh yeah, he like punched the wall.
He punched
the
wall.
Who the fuck celebrates and punched the wall? I don't understand that.
There's more to that story. I'm sure we have not heard the end of
probably.
It. But look, and if you don't want the Dodgers, you may get your wish on the very first game of the National League Playoffs, because that game against the Cardinals, that's not an easy game. The Cardinals have been playing great baseball. Yeah. Now, I'm glad that their streak got busted last week. But even after that, they kept winning, right? So they've won quite a bit here at the end of the season. It looks, that's not going to be easy. And Muncy is out for the Dodgers. Right. He's out for the wild card game. He may be out for more than the wild card game. So it's not going to be easy. And then the Dodgers had to play. The Dodgers played it to the very last game. The Cardinals gave their guys a couple days off here at the end of the season, because they had nowhere to go, right? They weren't going to win the division. They were in the wild card. They clinched the wild card a week early, so...
Well, if they would have tied with the Giants, they would have to play one extra game to determine the winner of the freaking division.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
More baseball.
Yeah, I don't know. But they... No. That's why you play an odd number of times during the regular season.
And
that
use
right
that
there
as a tiebreaker?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see that.
I mean, I think every other league, I don't know about hockey, but I know basketball and football do it like that.
They use head-to-head.
Why doesn't fucking baseball do it?
I don't understand that either.
Right? That's kind of dumb.
It seems like common sense to me. 106 wins, and you don't win the division.
Yeah.
That's a great season, 106 wins. No division title for you. You got to go play the wild card. And then if you win the wild card, you got to play the team that won 107 games.
Right. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Go play them.
I hope they fix that somehow in the future.
You think they should flip the record?
Just seed them. Yeah, seed them by record, because...
Well, hold on. I agree with you, but one point of clarification. If you were to seed them and the Dodgers win, do you make the Dodgers the 2 seed, and then the Brewers have to go to LA? Like, the Dodgers have home field advantage?
What do you mean?
Once the Dodgers let's say the Dodgers beat the Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
Right? Then you have the 14. If you seed them, the Dodgers would have the second best record. They would play the 3 seed, which would be Milwaukee. And then do you give the Dodgers home field advantage?
No.
Because they didn't win the division.
Correct.
Okay.
And the Brewers did.
That's just trying to get that point of clarification out there. That's all.
Who wins? The Dodgers or the Cardinals?
Who's pitching for the Dodgers? Because Walker Buehler pitched yesterday.
That's what I was trying to look up.
They probably haven't announced it yet.
But your internet sucks.
Your internet sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh wait, we're in my house.
Yeah, I don't know who's pitching.
Let me see. It probably doesn't say yet, huh?
Scherzer. Oh shit.
Scherzer and Wainwright. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Dodgers. Yeah, you can't bet against that lunatic in the playoffs.
I don't know, man. He's got a thing to pitch really well and then give up that clutch home run in a
Have a disastrous inning.
Not a disastrous, but like in a 0-0, 1-1 game, he's pitching fucking phenomenal, and he gives up that go ahead home run somehow. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with the Dodgers.
Wainwright. I mean, fuck, he's still around. I can't believe he's still around.
Dude, has anyone pitched in more clutch games than that guy?
Yeah, seriously. He got an extension, I think.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be with the Cardinals forever. Like, him and Yadier Molina are going to be there forever. They're never leaving.
The Dodgers got a stacked lineup, right? There's no doubt about that. But now they know one of them have to fucking step up. Bellinger hasn't done shit, right? Like, somebody's got to step up and be that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they'll get past the Cardinals tomorrow just because I trust Scherzer more than I trust Wainwright. It's kind of both of those guys are up there in years.
Yeah.
It's interesting that neither one of them is going to be wowed by the moment, right? They're going to be ready to go. Then on the other side, you'd have the winner of that game going up against the Giants. I think whoever wins that game beats the Giants. And I'll tell you why. The Giants have been playing in playoff mode for a long time because they felt the Dodgers breathing down their neck. And I think at some point they're going to crack. And I expect it to be sooner rather than later. I don't trust that team to continue to play playoff baseball for another month. And so whether it's the Dodgers or the Cardinals are hot. The Dodgers are just really damn good with a lot more experience in this type of postseason. I think either one of those teams will end up beating the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, the Giants survived the Dodgers. They went, they managed to stay a leg up on them, even towards the very end.
Gabe Kapler got run out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And now he's got the team with the best record in baseball. It's kind of amazing how that works sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the Giants. A lot of people are not believing in the Giants.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, right? Because, I mean, they kind of came out of nowhere. But, I mean, fuck, bro. 107 wins in a division with the Dodgers.
It's legit.
I mean, that's about it because the other three teams are garbage. But, I don't know. They've done it. They've done it
all year long
as a complete team. Like, they can pitch. They have a bullpen. And they got a pretty decent lineup.
Yeah. And adding Chris Bryant during the trade deadline was a huge pickup for them.
Yeah.
So you think the Giants survive whoever wins the wild card game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The Braves and the Brewers. I think you've already said your piece. You think it's going to be the Brewers. You like the Brewers here.
Yeah, I mean, Braves survived that fucking division. Like, they really got. I mean,
it was the worst division. They are the worst playoff team. Right? They're the only playoff team without 90 wins.
Yeah, it's not that. It's just they fucking. I don't know, man. I think they're a fraud. And their pitching is not too deep. Well, Fried and Charlie Morton have pitched well, but their bullpen is not that great.
Yeah,
having Acuna hurts too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Remember, their lineup is still not as strong as it could be. Right? They don't have Acuna. Look, they've done a tremendous job this season, stepping up to the plate. Right? And I don't mean that literally walking up to an at bat, but they've stepped up. They lost Acuna early in the season. We thought that was pretty much it for them. They made a few key moves at the trade deadline that helped them, and they really. And granted, it wasn't that big of a mountain to climb because the National League East was not a big mountain to climb, right? It was not a good division. it was probably the worst division in baseball. And they did what they had to do to get into the playoffs, but the Brewers are a different animal. Even with the injury to their bullpen, that's a complete lineup. A team that they made some moves at the trade deadline as well to shore them up, and they look really good top to bottom, right? Yeah. I put them in the same category with the Dodgers and the Giants and the White Sox, and they really kind of belong. You know what I mean? And I think that they're going to be too much for the Braves.
I hope so.
That's just your fandom speaking.
Well, that and I just think they're the better overall team.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there as well. And then looking forward, you would have the Brewers and the Giants. I would have the Brewers and the Dodgers. What do you think?
I would predict the Brewers beating the Giants.
I don't know who I would predict.
Chris Yelich going back to Cali for a few games. Oh yeah, he fucking rake over there.
I think that would be a great series as well. I mean, like I said, we're in for really good playoffs this year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not going to make a prediction on Brewers Dodgers. Let's see how these things shake out here early on in the playoffs, but that would be a fantastic series. And quite frankly, the Brewers and Cardinals would be a fantastic series if the Cardinals made it through. As I believe, the Giants will falter in the first round, so it would be either the Dodgers or the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That would be incredibly interesting to watch. A lot of fun. And look, this is what October is all about. We've got only one. Well, let's see. The Astros are the only indoor team, right? In Tampa Bay.
Correct. Milwaukee.
Is that?
Yeah, they got the fucking little slide. Bernie the Bear or whoever.
No, but does their roof close?
I'm pretty sure it does.
That sucks.
Why?
I like open air baseball. I like it when it gets cold.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right? It makes it a little more interesting. And
but you hate the elements to fuck with the game. You know what I mean? Like if you have fucking Game 7 of the NLCS and it's the Dodgers or it's the Braves and the Brewers, right? Well, that can't be. If it's the Brewers and the Cardinals, let's say.
Yeah. And it's cold.
And they have their ace. Both of them have their ace pitching. And it fucking rains.
Well, they don't
in the second inning, and then they got to pull them.
They don't play in the rain.
Yeah, they do. In St. Louis, they do.
They don't play in the rain.
What do you mean they don't fucking play in the rain?
It's baseball. They don't play baseball in the rain.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Well, I don't know.
They'll suspend it and go to the next day. I just like it when it's cold.
Yeah?
And they got to blow on their hands before they pitch.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what postseason baseball.
Then they're gonna have to start checking guys' beards for sticky stuff because they're gonna put their hands on it, make sure they don't have sticky stuff in their beard.
Oh shit.
Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, we got some good stuff to look forward to here with the baseball season coming to an end and the playoffs starting up tomorrow. Can't wait. We're almost through 4 weeks of the NFL season. And I don't know about you, but I barely made it through that football game last night between the Buccaneers and the Patriots. Now, was there like some big thing going on with some player? They talked about this one guy once or twice, but it felt like they had talked about him before.
Yeah, it was
They could have kept the camera on Tom Brady the entire game for as much as they talked about him. They talked about him when he wasn't even on the field.
I'll be honest
with you. It was too much.
I thought it was going to be a complete suckfest the week leading up to last night. And it really I didn't feel like it was unless I was not on social media or, watching TV or some shit. I feel like I didn't hear as much as I thought I was going to.
Oh, my God.
The game, you just have to watch it on mute and, do it that way.
I started hearing a lot about Tom Brady going back to New England. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. His first
3 weeks ago?
No, of this week, where it was just when he did the press conference, right? And they just did not stop. I mean, it was too much. It was too much. Like, I understand it was a big deal, but at some point, right? Like, when the Tampa Bay defense is out on the field, I don't need to see what Tom Brady's doing on the sideline.
Right.
Because, like, there's a game going on.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather watch the game. It was too much, but it was a good game. It was a real
good game.
It was a close game. I don't know that it was a good game. It was kind of sloppy.
I like football games like that. You know,
it was kind of sloppy because of the
slow
rain
scoring.
And yeah.
It
wasn't. Again, it was. I didn't think it was a good game. I thought it was a close game. It was entertaining, but
in all fairness, the Patriots defense is good.
Yeah. No.
And the Bucks front four is good. So you know when you have smash mouth defenses like that,
it's hard to get a lot of points.
Plus the elements.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a pretty game, but I kind of like those kind of games.
No, I would agree with you there. Now what that does is that puts Buffalo firmly in the driver's seat in the AFC East, right? Because now you've got everyone at 1-3 except for Buffalo's at 3-1. A 2-game lead after 4 is not a lot, but it's a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
It's it's a bigger. It's 2 more game lead than the Bucks have. The Bucks are tied.
And when you look at the other 3 teams, though, I mean, the Dolphins don't really have a quarterback. They got one that is sustainable, I think, but Brissett is not going to lead you to anything. And then you got the Patriots and Jets who have a fucking rookie quarterback. So I think the Bills just at quarterback alone are just so much better than the other 3 teams.
Yeah, it's
and the defenses. The Patriots, I think, have a good defense. I think the Jets' defense is not terrible.
Yeah, but all of those teams behind Buffalo are a considerable step down, especially offensively. They're all limited offensively, whereas Buffalo has a pretty decent offense. You know, it's kind of funny. Here we are 4 weeks into the season, and if you told me who Buffalo has played, I would say they're 4-0, right? Because Pittsburgh looks terrible right now, and that's who beat them. It's funny how that works, right?
They beat them.
If you look at their schedule, right? They played the Steelers, the Dolphins, that Washington team, the football team in Washington, and Houston. I mean, if you look at that, if you say that today, before the season, you'd have thought 3-1, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Pittsburgh gets by them. Maybe they stub their toe someplace else. But now, knowing what you know now, you're like, surely they're 4-0, right? Because the Steelers are struggling bad. The Dolphins aren't good. Washington's not good. And the Texans are abysmal.
Next week should be good when they play the Chiefs.
Yeah, so next week I think we'll get a better understanding of just how good this team is.
But even if they lose to the Chiefs, and let's say it's a 1-score game, 3-point game, I mean, the Bills are still good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say,
here's the thing.
That's still a good team.
The game is in Kansas City, and I agree with you. I kind of agree with you, I kind of don't. They need to keep that a 1-score game, whether they win or lose. If they get their doors blown off, then it's not that they're a bad team, but the Chiefs will do it to them again in the playoffs if they should meet. So they have to do well enough to let the Chiefs know that they can play with them. Otherwise,
you don't think they can?
I think they can, but I think psychologically, if they get their doors blown off next week in Kansas City, they're going to get their doors blown off in January too. Like, that's my point. Like, I think they don't have to win the game to be competitive in the playoffs should they meet the Chiefs. But if they're not competitive next week, I think it's not going to look good. It's not going to go well for them once they meet in the playoffs.
What I think they may not meet in the playoffs.
No. Anything can happen, right? But I'm just saying, I think they have to make my point is they have to make a statement that they are as good, that they can play with the Bills. I think that, you think that, I think most people think that. But if they get their doors blown off, I think psychologically that becomes kind of a roadblock for them going forward. Look at the AFC North. You got the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns at 3-1, and the Steelers at 1-3. Look, I think you said it before the season started. The Bengals are going to be a tough out, and they're going to be a good football team, and I think that's holding true.
Joe Burrow, man.
Yeah, Joe Burrow looks like the real deal. Baltimore looks good. At times does not look good. I mean, they struggled with Detroit for quite a while last week, but now they look great yesterday at Denver, and Cleveland looked good against Kansas City. Fell apart a little bit, and the end of the game ended up losing. But then they've won 3 straight. Didn't look great against Minnesota, but it was in Minnesota, so I kind of give them a bit of a pass. Minnesota's kind of an up and down team. This is the most exciting division in the NFL right now, I think. It's going to be fun to watch these 3 teams battle out. Pittsburgh's got a ton of injury issues.
Quarterback issues.
I hate to say a quarterback issue because I
They
like
do.
Big Ben, but yeah, he's...
Yeah, but I mean, the guy can't fucking throw anymore.
Yeah,
he can't,
at some point, right? Father Time wins.
he doesn't move. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's just not. He is their problem at this point.
And shame on the Steelers for not, I don't know, drafting a quarterback maybe. Like
Doing something, right?
Like, look at the fucking Packers. At least they have a quarterback. Do we know if he's good or not? No, but they have somebody waiting there that is gonna that they know is gonna take the reign after
right.
Aaron Rodgers, whether he's traded, retires, or whatever. Fucking Pittsburgh has Dwayne Haskins.
Oh God,
Like,
that sounds terrible when you say it out loud.
Like, they just done. I think, man, yeah, they've done a poor job of constructing that team.
Yeah, and
injuries haven't really helped.
They have not planned well for the future. It's like they thought Big Ben was only 30.
Yeah,
and it's not the case.
It-
Now, what were we gonna say?
I think it'll be interesting to see if the Bengals can keep up, because I think the Browns and the Ravens will end up 1-2. You know what I mean? So now the Bengals, can they keep it up? Pretty much they're gonna have to go toe to toe with Ravens and Browns win. They're gonna have to win. Like, they got to keep up.
Yeah, I think eventually they're not going to keep up, but they're not going to have a bad season, right? Like, I think you're looking at an 8-8 team, 8-9, 9-8, whatever it works out to. God damn, you can't say 8-8 team.
No
anymore.
more 8-8. Jeff Fisher day is over.
Well, they can be 8-8 and then
1.
and then there you go, 8-8. They could be an 8-8-1 team.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so I think they're going to fall just short. I think the real battle is going to come down to Baltimore and Cleveland. Moving on to the AFC South. Do we have to talk about the AFC South? Can we just not? I mean, it's got 2 of the worst teams in football in this division. I mean, Jacksonville and Houston are going to fight each other for the worst record in the NFL.
And the Colts and Titans haven't really showed, the Titans, obviously they're in first place, but
at 2-2, but they don't look. I mean, they just lost to the Jets, for crying out loud.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and the Colts, very disappointing start to their season. Injuries have bit them pretty hard, but even so, they just don't look right anywhere. I mean, it's just not.
They just got their first win yesterday.
Yeah, against Miami.
Right.
So it's just not. This is the worst division. Let's just move on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Who cares who comes out of this division? No wild cards coming out of this division, I'll tell you that.
No.
They'll be lucky if they get a division winner.
It'll come out.
They might go the way of the NFC East and have a team with a losing record. 8-9 will win this division.
Quite possibly.
That would be my guess. Anyway, on to the West, where you've got one of two undefeated teams in the NFL, the Raiders, who play tonight against the Chargers. I think that's going to be a fantastic football game. Yeah. The Broncos at 3-1, the Chargers at 2-1, and bringing up the rear at the present time, the Chiefs at 2-2. Are you worried about the Chiefs?
Yeah, before the season started.
You think so?
Yeah, that's not a good. The defense has issues. They give up way too many yards, bro. And it's as great as Mahomes is. I believe he'll lead the Chiefs to a few, 1 or 2, 3 comeback victories. But they're not going to be sustainable. And then I defensively, I think they have really big issues.
I agree with you there, but I still think that offense, once it starts clicking, that's the kind of offense that can put up 40 points a week, every week.
And you have the other 3 teams in that division that are better than they have been the past 2-3 years, right? Since the Chiefs started this run. So they're no pushovers anymore. The Chargers are not a pushover. The Broncos are not a pushover. The Raiders are not a pushover.
To be fair,
they got legit issues.
To be fair, I think that I agree with you about the Chargers and the Raiders. I think the Broncos have gotten a little bit of favorable scheduling, right?
Well, they all play the same teams.
Well, but right now they haven't.
Right now they haven't.
Right now the Broncos.
You want to give the Chiefs 3 wins right off the bat? So they're going to be 5-2, or they would, or.
Well, do they get to play Jacksonville, the Giants, and Washington?
Yeah.
Well, then yeah, give them 3 more wins because I mean, look, again, the Broncos, they play who's on the schedule. I get it, but you can't gloss over the fact that they've had to play some pretty deficient teams.
Yeah.
Two teams that offensively are very limited in the Giants and the Jaguars, and a Washington team that's just flat out terrible. So, I'm not sold on Denver just yet. 3-1, it's a great start, fantastic, but I don't think that when it's all said and done, I don't think they're going to be in the mix. Now, the other 2, you're right. I think the Raiders and Chargers are for real. I think the Chiefs are going to have a lot of work to do to get past them. They're going to be possibly 2 games behind one of those teams. If the Raiders win tonight, but if the Chargers win, they'll be a game behind both of them. So it's going to be a tough road to hoe. I just still have faith in that offense and what they can do in terms of putting pressure on another team to score points. So I think they're still going to do really well, if not come out and win the division. The Raiders and the Chargers, I think, are definitely going to be in the wild card hunt, and I think we'll probably see those teams in the playoffs.
We say all this now and predict, but it's the fucking NFL. I mean, there's no telling. We'll probably be singing a different tune come week 10. Because that's what makes the NFL so great, man. It's really a week-to-week league, and you don't know what the fuck. Nobody predicted the fucking Giants and the Jets would win yesterday. Nobody predicted Arizona would kick the fucking Rams' ass the way they did. That's... The fucking NFL is crazy. It really is.
Yeah,
it's really king.
It is. From week to week, and maybe it's because it's only 1 game a week, right?
Yeah.
It's incredible how much parity there is.
Yeah.
It's not every team is going to be 8-8-1, right? But yeah, it does seem like on any given Sunday, anyone can beat anybody. It's except for the Texans, right? I don't think
or Lions.
Poor Lions. But yeah, it's fun to watch for sure. It's what makes it, that and the fantasy football and the gambling is what makes it so much fun, I think.
True that.
I think that's what does it. Moving on to the NFC, you got Dallas at 3-1, Washington at 2-2. How is Washington at 2-2? The Eagles at 1-3 and the Giants at 1-3. This division is not good, but this is, to me, this is the Cowboys' division to lose. Offensively, the Cowboys are good. Defensively, not great, but getting better.
They've been pretty fucking good.
Yeah, they've played well defensively, but again, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt a little bit. I don't think they're going to be great all year, is my point. But when you consider the competition, Washington, the Eagles, and the Giants. I mean, they almost are the best team in football in that division by default because the other three teams look porous.
But that's not fair. I mean, they could easily be fucking 4-0. Like
Who?
The Cowboys. They should have beat the fucking Bucks if it wasn't for their shitty kicker. I mean, they just beat the best defensive team in the league.
Well, to be fair with the Bucks turned the ball over a bunch of times too.
Well,
right?
You can say, but I mean, what do you mean? But the Cowboys forced those turnovers.
Yeah, but if they don't get 4 turnovers, do they really play a 1-score game with Tampa Bay?
Yeah,
Tampa Bay moved the ball pretty well on them, and good game. Don't get me wrong, but for all the people that say, oh, they should be 4-0, but for their kicker, well,
I mean, they went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they hung 30 points in there against supposedly the best defense, right?
Look, I don't think they got their doors blown off, but I don't say they should be 4-0 either. I think both teams kind of gave a little in that first game, jitters, whatever you want to call it, and you got a fair result. But yeah, but again, I think you're starting to agree with me. That's the best team in that division. Top to bottom.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't say they're the best team in the division.
Who would you say is better?
I mean, on record-wise, yeah, they are. But, I mean, they still have to play the Washington and the Giants. And anything could happen with those games. Like,
they are better than Washington and the Giants.
I mean,
realize anything can happen,
on paper,
but
we can say they are. But, I mean, the fucking Giants hung in with them, with the Cowboys last year, with Dak Prescott before he got hurt in that game. The Giants are playing better football.
Decent. They're playing okay.
Well, what the fuck did I just say? They're playing better football. Yeah. They're playing they're playing better football.
They're playing like an 8-1 team?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, if you had to compare divisions, this is not the AFC South. This is not the AFC South.
No, it's not that bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that alone makes it competitive. That alone makes it competitive.
The AFC South's competitive as well. They all suck.
Yeah, nah.
It's just who's going to suck less.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
I mean, right now, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Right now, it fucking looks like the Cowboys are like this America's team and everybody else is not. But I don't think the Giants are that far off. I don't think Washington is that far off. I do think the Eagles are far off. I think they have too many injuries. And they have a rookie coach, pretty much a rookie quarterback. Hasn't even played a full season. So
yeah, they seem to be struggling offensively.
So and that fucking quarterback for the Washington, he's all right, man. Heineken.
I like
that. He's all right, man.
He is. He's all right. But yeah, I think this is Dallas's division to lose. Okay. Unless some stuff starts happening like injuries or whatever, Dallas looks good defensively. Offensively, I think they're a good football team.
Yeah,
offensively, they can put up points with just about anybody.
Absolutely.
The concern with them will be defensively. Can they keep up defensively?
See, I think they can. I think defensive...
Well, if you think that, then you think they're the best team in that division.
Well, I didn't say they weren't the best team in that division, but the other two teams are not far behind from them, is what I'm saying. I mean, they still have to play head to head. What if they lose the 4 games to Washington and the Giants? That could easily happen. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, maybe it's not likely, but I mean, again, this is the NFL we're talking about. I think the Cowboys' defense is fairly good.
Yeah. Okay. The NFC North, Green Bay sits atop 3-1. The Bears at 2-2, the Vikings at 1-3, and the Lions at 0-4. Well, I mean, the Packers had one horrific game to open the season against New Orleans.
Yeah.
They've pretty much done whatever they wanted to do since then. They've played good, solid football.
No.
This is another situation where I think they're, to me, clearly the best team in this division. The Bears are okay, but if the Bears are going to do this back and forth thing with the quarterbacks, it's not going to work. It never works.
Matt Nagy's a fucking idiot.
It's just, and they're already talking about him getting fired, and he's talking about, I'm still the coach, and
he's still talking about playing Andy Dalton next week.
Well, yeah, it's, I'm still the head coach of this football team. That kind of talk, it's just too much distraction. It's not good. It's not good. It's not going to be good in Chicago. And I don't, 2-2 is a nice start for them, but I have zero faith in them.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I have no idea what's going on in Minnesota. What are they doing? Like, they play well.
That's another team that could be opposite of that record. I mean, they could be 3-1 easily.
The game yesterday, they played really well.
Yeah.
Against Cleveland.
They had way too many chances.
And then fell apart.
Yeah, that's a good defense too, though.
And I mean, they're more inconsistent than anyone, because they will have parts of the game where they play great, and then other parts where they play just terrible. Look at the game. What was it? Was it last week that they played Seattle? They beat Seattle, right?
Yeah.
They played great.
Yeah.
That was a great football game. But even in that game, they had pockets where they were just abysmal. They couldn't hold on to the ball. They couldn't catch the ball. The penalties. It's like, it seems like the most undisciplined team out there. And you're right. They're 1-3. They could be 3-1. Who knows what we're going to get with them? They've got a positive point differential at 1-3, which you don't see all that often.
I hope the playoffs, because I got money on them to make the fucking playoffs.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's a gutsy call right there.
Well, because I think they have a good enough team to make the wild card, and so I couldn't pass up those odds. But
you just never know what you're going to get with them. So far this season, wildly inconsistent team.
Well, I have faith in them.
Well, I'm glad.
Because I mean, they could have fucking beaten the Cardinals that week.
I have faith in them for like a half.
Yeah.
And then I don't trust them anymore.
Yeah.
And then I have
Kirk
faith
Cousins
again.
is playing like fucking like whatever he's getting paid, $30 million a year. He's playing like a $30 million quarterback.
He is playing good ball. And then the Lions. I don't think the Lions are as bad as the Texans and the Jaguars, but they're pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, when you fucking lose to the Bears, the Bears haven't been good.
Yeah, and the Bears beat them pretty handily.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, on to the South. You got the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3-1. The Panthers, probably a bit of a surprise for most people, at 3-1. The Saints at 2-2, and the Falcons at 1-3. Tampa Bay is clearly the best team in this division.
Are they?
Yeah, they're clearly the best team. They've got the best quarterback in the division, right?
Bro, that defense ain't good either. That defense is not good.
The Buccaneers defense?
Look at the stats. The fucking Chiefs and the Bucks rank like bottom 5, bottom 7 in pass yards allowed. It's not and the Bucks now have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, now that is one thing that is going to be interesting to see how they navigate the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, because they're dinged up to no end.
And now you have Gronk, who is going to be out a couple games. I don't know, man. The Chiefs and the Bucks, I really don't trust.
I knew the Bucks secondary was in trouble when they signed Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
When they signed a guy who's about to get suspended for a long time, because they desperately needed a defensive back, and then had another one get hurt last night. It's the injury bug with them is a real concern, and Carolina's a surprise, but look, Sam Darnold.
They haven't played anybody?
They kind of haven't, right? They've had it kind of easy as well. But here's the thing. Sam Darnold was not a bad quarterback in college, right? He was a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. He went into a situation with the Jets where it wasn't a very good situation, right? And now the change of scenery, and Matt Rule, I think, is the real deal in terms of coaching.
He better be. At $10 million a year.
Yeah, I think he's the real deal, and that defense is good. That defense is going to help him out. That defense is going to keep him in games. And look, do I think they're going to win the division? No, but they're going to give Tampa Bay a bit of a run. And when you look at the rest of that division, maybe it's lining up for them to at least be in the hunt for the wild card, maybe even the division.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think they have a real legit shot at winning that division just because, you still got to play the head-to-head games with the Bucks. Those can go either way, and I think the Bucks are just way too banged up.
They are.
I mean, every team has injuries, but the Bucks seem to have a lot of injuries with their starters. That's a problem.
And in one area. Right?
Yeah.
Defensive. They don't have any defensive backs. They're all injured.
Yeah.
The Saints, I don't know what to think about the Saints because they look great in one breath and then they look terrible in the next and great and then terrible and I don't know. This is to me the epitome of an 8-8 team. I don't care if there's 17 games in the season. That is an 8-8 football team. I still don't trust Jameis Winston. I don't see where it's going to shake out for them. They wildly inconsistent. And offensively, I think they're going to be boom or bust. I think you're going to get days where, they put up 40 points against the Packers, and you're going to get days where they put up 3.
I think once they get Michael Thomas back, they should be all right.
When is he going to be back?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
And then, their defense is good. I mean, they got a pretty good defense, man. That defensive line is pretty good. But that's going to be a tight 3-team race.
You think the Saints get into that race? For the division?
Well, I mean, they're fucking 1 game back right now.
They've only played 4.
Okay, well.
At this rate, they'll finish 4 games out.
Yeah, no, I think
4 1/4.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll hang in there. I mean, with football, I mean, you gotta play these head-to-head games. I mean, those, I don't know. I'll have to see.
I wonder if the last week of the season they'll make them all division games like they did when it was a 16-game schedule. I hope so.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, that would be a shame.
And plus, that division plays the NFC East. So if you think the NFC East is not good, then those are some maybe free wins right there.
No.
I mean, the fucking Falcons beat the
Eagles?
The Giants. Well, no, the Eagles beat the Falcons. The Falcons beat the Giants.
Right. That's right.
But then they lost to Washington. So.
Go figure. And then now moving on to the NFC West. This division is very entertaining to me.
Yeah.
I know there's teams here that you think are not worth anything. But I think this is going to be wildly entertaining. I think the Cardinals are 4-0 and the Cardinals are for real.
Yeah, I agree.
Do not sleep on them. Kyler Murray is slowly but surely building himself into a premier NFL quarterback, and part of it is he's got weapons.
Yeah.
And so it makes it easier to develop when you have people that can catch the ball, people that can run the ball, and a good offensive line. And then you've got the Rams, who I think the Rams are a good football team as well. Their only loss is to the Cowboys.
No, to the Cardinals.
Didn't they lose to the Cowboys?
Well, no, they're 3-1. They lost yesterday. The Rams?
Oh, the Cowboys beat the Chargers. Never mind. Sorry.
Yes, they did though.
And the Cardinals really got on the Rams yesterday, but it's one game. Let's not get carried away. The Seahawks are good. They're a little inconsistent for my boat.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's probably on the downside now. I worry, right? And San Francisco, that's a good football team. It's just they have quarterback issues, right? Like, who are they going to play? Apparently, they still haven't figured it out.
Well, now they're forced to play Lance.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy G is going to, hurt.
Yeah. So, and that may actually be to their benefit. The going back and forth between quarterbacks is, to me, it's never a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, just maybe, this will be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, man, I like how the Cardinals have looked. I mean, fucking Murray's just making shit happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a big fucking win yesterday. I mean,
they beat him by 17, and it wasn't even that close.
Right.
Right.
I think ultimately at the end it'll come down to those two teams. I don't think the Seahawks are a good team. And the 49ers, there's going to be issues there. I don't think they're going to... I just don't see... I mean, even if Jimmy G was their quarterback, I mean, fuck, he hasn't really played all that great. And Kittle seems to be a little hurt. So, I don't know.
That's the other thing. That San Francisco team has been bit by injuries
since last year.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah.
It seems like every year they get bit pretty bad. See, this is one of those divisions where, we're talking about other divisions, and I was talking about how I think one team's going to run away from it, and you're like, oh, the bottom teams will keep it close. This is one of those divisions where I think Arizona and the Rams are the better football teams. Mm-hmm. But I think the Seahawks and Niners are good enough to keep it close, to take a game off of Arizona, to take a game off of the Rams, to split with them and then make it a little difficult on them. I think this division is, I think it's a 4-team race. I think the Rams are the best team in the division. The Cardinals obviously showed me something yesterday, but we'll see. There's a lot of football to be played.
I think right now there's just no clear... there's no team that stands out and you can say, man, they're going to go all the way. Like, there's no team right now.
Yeah,
even after 3 weeks, I didn't think so. Like, I just don't see that team right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I look at the NFC, I could see the Cowboys going all the way. I could see the Packers going all the way. The Buccaneers, Rams or Cardinals, one of those teams. If they start to kind of separate, there's a lot of good teams. And then the AFC, it's the same thing, right? There's a lot of good football teams that you could see them making a run. So yeah, look, I mean, the NFL, right? This is why it's become so popular. This is why it's so wildly entertaining. It's just every week it seems like the power rankings shift, and
that's the last thing I hate the fucking power rankings because it's just
it's pure speculation. But it's it's no different than what you and I are doing here, right? We've taken it by division, but we're making our own power rankings here as we talk about it. Here I am looking at an Arizona team that's 4-0 that just beat the crap out of the Rams, and I think, and I'm saying I think the Rams are eventually going to win that division. So there's a fluctuation every week, it seems like, in teams that you think are going up and going down, and so on and so on. NFL is king, man.
Yeah.
You got anything else about the NFL you'd like to talk about?
Nah, man. Did you see that play from in the Washington Falcons game? That roughing the passer they called on Chase Young?
No.
Yeah, the NFL's getting pretty weak with these fucking flags, man. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't roughing the passer, and on top of that, Matt Ryan's knee touched the ground and got the ball off. So like, I didn't know that was legal.
Was he touched?
But I guess, well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Came down.
But I mean, the rough. Well, I guess it didn't matter, right? Because they called roughing the passer. Right. But yeah, you got to see that play, bro. It was like, where's the rough on that?
Yeah, it's and I watched a fair amount of college as well, and in college it's bad too. The targeting calls in college are ridiculous. There was a play in the Oregon Stanford game where the quarterback is throwing to his right. He has a rusher coming from the right and another one coming from the left. They get there at about the same time, but the guy that's coming in from the right jumps up to block him, to block the throw, right? So he jumps with his arms up. He comes down, and as he comes down, that's when the contact comes from the other defender behind him, hits him into
the quarterback.
Hits the quarterback and hits him into the rusher from the right side, and their heads touch. He doesn't hit him. He doesn't lower his head. He got called for, targeting.
Yeah.
He got thrown out of the game. And it's like, where's the guy supposed to put his head? I mean, was he supposed to, move it out of the way? It's kind of like the defender in soccer with the handball. Like, where do you want these guys to put their arms? It's not like they can take their arms off.
I hate to say it, but some of these plays need to be reviewable. Unfortunately, the targeting is reviewed. They review all targeting calls. Even in football? Even
in college? In college they do. I don't know about the NFL.
The NFL, they don't review, roughing the pass. Well, there's no targeting. There's hardly targeting.
It's just a personal foul. There's no ejection. In college,
right,
because there's an ejection, they review all targeting calls.
So, I mean, I don't care about the college football. But in the NFL, because I watch the NFL more.
Right.
But in the NFL, I kind of hope they start reviewing some of those. Because I know it's going to be time consuming and all that. But, bro, I don't want to see no fucking team lose. Or, I don't want to see that and something that's so obvious that did not happen decide a fucking game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you fix it because it's a problem, but you can't. I don't think you can go back and review every roughing the passer, or that would be a bit of a nightmare, right? Because then also you're reviewing it in slow time as opposed to what you saw in real time, and it's never quite the same.
Right, but roughing the passer, you don't review it in slow time. You review it in normal speed because, if you see it again, maybe you'll figure out or you'll notice that, hey, you know what, that guy really wasn't
roughing anybody.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is. It has become one of the real soft spots in the NFL. Yeah. I don't complain much about refereeing, and look, their job is insanely hard, but I mean, you're deciding football games, and it's a big deal. So,
did you see they're not starting the second base rule in the postseason in baseball?
Oh, good.
That's so great, and it won't be back next year.
That's good too.
And I think we're gonna have DH in the NL.
That's terrible.
Nah, fuck that. Even it up. Either no DH or all DH.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But so this is the order in which I would do it. No DH is my first preference.
Mm-hmm.
All DH
right.
is my second preference. This current system that we have now, half and half DH.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. So, we'll have DH. We will have DH.
All DH.
Yeah.
I would rather they go no DH.
Yeah, I don't care either way. I just want it to be,
baseball
one way or another.
Baseball, kind of like basketball,
I don't want
right?
to see I don't want to see a pitcher hit.
I do because it sometimes it becomes interesting, right? You gotta lay down a bunt, things like that.
They can't even fucking bunt.
Well, some of them can. Some of them can. Some of them can actually hit. I mean, look, it's kind of like baseball is a game with no substitutions, essentially, right? So you've got 9 guys that go out and play defense, but then only 8 of them play offense. One of them plays, and then another one comes in to play offense. So you got one guy that plays offense but not defense, one guy that plays defense but not offense.
Right.
I think that's dumb. You don't do the free substitution thing, so just let everybody play offense. Let everyone play defense, right?
No.
In basketball, you don't get to pull. You don't get to hold on. We got to take this guy out because he's a defensive liability. I mean, if you can do that, right? But it costs you a timeout.
Well, they do.
Right, they do it. It costs them a timeout.
Right.
And there's no timeouts in baseball, so it just I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm old school. I don't want to see the DH thing.
Yeah.
Are they getting rid of the seven inning doubleheader?
That I don't know. And the DH is not like 100%, but I think that's where they're leaning.
I'm glad they're getting rid of the man on second.
Yes.
And the DH is an improvement, although not the improvement I want. And if they get rid of the 7-inning doubleheader, I'm okay with that too. I'm not a big fan of the 7-inning doubleheader.
I wasn't either, but I'm kind of okay with it.
I don't like it because it puts the 7th inning stretch too close to the end of the game, and then chances are you can't do a beer run.
True. Beer runs are important.
They sure are. You know what else is important?
What's that?
It's important that people know how to get a hold of you.
True that.
How can people get a hold of the great Alex?
On Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1.
And you can get a hold of me on Twitter as well at eMontana21. You can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. Sorry, I just felt like
that's all right.
Felt like it
sounded like Adele there or something.
Adele?
Adele.
What's that song? What's the famous song?
Hello.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad this is not a singing podcast.
Yeah, because I would win.
I think you might win, but the fans would lose. For sure. I mean, I say this every time we have a freaking birthday in our family and we have to sing happy birthday. I don't understand
wait.
why we insist on singing happy birthday.
Hold on. That is... No. You're being a hypocrite. You don't sing.
No,
you
because
don't
we're
sing.
awful.
Oh,
way
to be a team player.
Look, I'm not. It's not like it's not like I'm making it worse by not singing, because I'm sure as hell not making it better.
Well, still participate.
I do. I mouth the words.
No, you don't.
I don't understand in today's age with technology why we can't just pull up something on YouTube and sing happy birthday whenever we do happy birthday with the family.
No.
Because there's not one fucking person in our family that can sing. Not one. Can you name one?
Yeah, me. But that's besides the point.
Seriously.
It doesn't matter.
Do we have a person in our family who can sing even a little bit?
Well, no. Chances are nobody does.
Well, not in Adele's family. Adele's got someone.
She was the only one. She sang at all the birthdays.
Do you think she sings solo at her family's birthday parties? All right, let's sing happy birthday. Yeah. Back up. I got this.
Probably.
Right? Like if you're having a birthday party at Adele's family and she's there.
Yeah, just take over. Sing.
I'm like, bitch, you sing. You're the best goddamn singer in here.
Yeah,
no, I'm not. I don't understand why we sing happy birthday.
No, that's a terrible take. You don't want to close this podcast out with that. That's a terrible take. You want to sing for the other person. That's what it's about. It's a birthday.
Yeah, but you're making their ears bleed.
It doesn't matter. Well, let them bleed.
Whenever you're the birthday person and you sit there and just have to listen, it's cringy, bro. It's cringy. It's not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, alrighty, folks. As always, thank you for listening. You can catch our podcast on Podbean, Google Play, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify. If I missed one, whatever podcast platform you choose. Mm-hmm. As always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.